Good morning, this is Rabbi Shlomo First here at Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi, our second year Mishna Berura. Oh, we are a week or so less actually before Shavuos, so we're learning Hilchos Shavuos in the Mishna Berura. And just a few things to wrap up what we've discussed in the last couple of days. We have a few different things that we were discussing, Kiddush with Havdalah, Yachshlas, right? So you have the mitzvah of Ner, of Havdalah in the middle of your Kiddush. So there's a question as to how you fulfill the mitzvah of the Bracha Al Ner when you're making Havdalah and Kiddush simultaneously, and it's on Yom Tov. The main point being is that lighting fires on Yom Tov is somewhat restrictive. Putting out fires is forbidden, right? So the normal procedure of Havdalah is when you take a Ner, you light it there, and then you extinguish it in the wine or whatever, right? So that can't be done on Yom Tov, right? So there are various, basic three different methods by which people try and fulfill the mitzvah of the Ner of Havdalah when they're making Kiddush and Havdalah on Motzi Shabbos, which also is a Yom Tov. You have the opportunity of taking two candles, lighting two separate candles, putting them together, because Havdalah should be in what we call a group, a torch, not one single flame, but at least two flames. Bringing two candles together and then taking them away, right? Or you could be taking two matches if they last long enough. You get long burning matches, they'll last maybe longer. So that's one way of doing it. And another way is simply...
And then you have to put the candles somewhere and let them burn out.
Exactly. You have to have this prepared and thought out ahead of time, correct. And another way is simply using the Neros that are burning for the Yom Tov Neros that have been previously lit. That's one thing.
What if you put water on a tray, and you lay the candle in the water so that half the candle or 3/4 of the candle is in the water, and so that when the flame hits the water, it will extinguish itself.
That's one possible.
Okay.
That's one possible thing that you can do as well. What I find to be the easiest and best is you simply, if you have a standard Havdalah candle, what I do is when they get down to the bottom, get too short, I just save these little stubs at the bottom of the Havdalah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, just do it.
Just let that burn.
Just let that burn. You put it before Yom Tov. It has to be Yerushalyim now, right? You enwrap it with aluminum foil, right at the bottom of it, and then you put it in a glass saucer or a jar or something, or metal, something on the bottom which will support it. So you can just have it there set up. You simply light it, figure out it, and then let it burn. Let it burn to the end. It'll last a few minutes. You know, if you don't have the stub of an old one, you can simply cut off a new one. You know, just take a scissor won't do it so well. You can take a knife.
Well, that's a good.
Take a knife and just cut the bottom off of your standard Havdalah candle.
And then the bottom becomes, you haven't wasted it because the bottom you can make into the new candle.
Right.
For your subsequent shows.
Sure. Right.
That's a good idea.
So just cut the tip off, and you can cut off the top, cut off the bottom, whatever. But all you need is about.
Do you use a serrated knife or a straight knife?
You know what's better than that? Just if you take a knife, like if you take a large like a chef's knife, and simply just slice down through it. Don't saw through it. Just slice through it, right?
Oh, like a meat cleaver?
Yeah, make a meat cleaver. Yeah. If you have a cleaver, you can just give it one clot, and then they'll just cut off on the bottom. If you try a scissor, it might start just. It won't work too well with the wax. Kind of just sometimes the wax threads will kind of start falling apart, and then just kind of. You can put it together if you hold it together with the aluminum foil. Then you like that. Okay. So that, another thing about lighting candles, doing well, as we learned earlier, no malacha can be done before Tzeitzei Chachavim. which is your minimal time of taking out Shabbos, which is minimal 45 minutes or so. You could go lower than that, but in general, 45 minutes is generally accepted for someone to be 72 minutes. Yeah. But you're not going to have, if you're going to Myra, you're going to have to, you'll be coming home well after that time. The question is about the wives. They're going to be home, right? So they want to do work. So they have to, whenever they start doing work on Motzi Shabbos in general, whether it's 45 minutes, 72 minutes, whatever it is, they have to say, Baruch HaMavdil ben Kodesh to Kodesh, right? Not Baruch HaMavdil ben Kodesh. But we asked whether we said by mistake, we said Baruch HaMavdil ben Kodesh, whether it works. I haven't had a chance to see if it's effective, but I imagine it is effective. But, so they have to, before they start doing anything, when they'll light candles, they should wait in general to light candles when you come home from shul, to light the candles. And then, once the candles are lit, then you can go right into Kiddush. You take maybe, depending on what the woman's using to light the candle with, you can light the Havdalah with that same. You don't want to light more fires than necessary. Just keep to the minimal usage of fires as possible. So if you have a candle or something or a match that the woman is using to light the candles, you can just light the Havdalah candle with that also, and it should be long enough to last. Usually if it's about 2 inches, an inch and a half, 2 inches, it should last at least a good 5 minutes or so.
And can we put food on the plata also Shabbos for Yom Tov?
Oh, so generally not. The only possible permissibility you have for that is if you're going to eat from it on Shabbos as well. Right? Like if you're going, and again, the only thing you can put on Shabbos was something which would be, it has to be obviously fully cooked. Yeah, it has to be fully cooked, and it has to be dry. It has to be dry. Following all the general rules of Shabbos that would be put onto the fire, and it can't be put in a place where it would actually start cooking, like roasting it or something, or singeing it or something like that.
Even if it's already cooked.
Even if it's already cooked, like the question about you want to warm up some challah, so you shouldn't really put it in a place where it gets toasty, right? You can warm it. You shouldn't put it in a place where it gets so hot that it'll start crusting the.
What about making extra?
Right.
Like you want to make on Shabbos, you want to make a meal that's definitely got more than you're going to eat for lunch, and then you're going to use that for dinner on Shabbos.
Right. So it's perfect. I mean, obviously you're doing this on Erev Shabbos, right? On Erev Shabbos, right?
On Shabbos you make it, but then on Shabbos you put it all in the warmer.
Right. So like this. Let's say this is really it makes it very easy. Let's say for the Shabbos morning meal you have a shul or something like that.
You make a big
pot of shul. Make a big pot. And if it's more like a stew than a shul, shul is like thick. Many times it gets thick unless you make it on the liquidy side, then it's liquidy. But if you make like a stew, a soup stew type of a thing, right, and you have all your whatever you have in there, and the meat, potatoes, fish, whatever you like to put in there. You can have barley there too. The only thing won't be as thick as what you can do is you have two things. One like your more standard shulent, and then you have another type of a thing like a beef stew or a beef broth or a stew, and you have that something extra for Shabbos as well, and then you keep that on. That's put on Erev Shabbos. It's on the whole of Shabbos, and then you can just keep it on straight through Yom Tov, and that big pot is still boiling away, ready to go on Motzi Shabbos, which is Yom Tov. And then if you want to add other things to it, right? Let's say you want to add a different meat or an extra meat of that, or you have something else you want to put into it. Yeah, you can add that straight cold from the refrigerator. You just put that in after Shabbos is out, and now it's on Yom Tov, and you don't have to wait for the whole pot to boil, which would take considerably a long time, right? Right. So that's a very good way of saving time and effort and stress on Motzi Shabbos, which is a Yom Tov, right?
Can you turn the fire down? Not off, but down?
So in general, not to be turned down. So you have to be careful. You can turn it up. You can turn it up, if need be for food preparation and such like that.
Right.
Right, but you can't, in general, you can't turn it down.
I heard that you can have a svora, which is kind of a trick, that you're afraid that it's going to burn.
Right,
The reason it's a trick is because you could just take the pot away,
right.
right? But you've got the pot on the fire's on high, it's boiling away, and you're afraid it's going to burn, so you turn it down because you're afraid it's going to burn.
Right.
Is that legitimate or not?
There are some opinions like that, but as you mentioned, you have other options. Meaning, you could put a metal barrier between the flame and the pot, and dim the fire down that way, right? So
Or you could just take the pot off, and then when it cools a little bit, you could put it back on.
you could do that also. You could also light another fire. It's suggested rather than turn down a high fire, right? You simply light a smaller, lower fire.
To make this
Right. Because what are you concerned about? The consideration of you're trying to save money is not a heter to turn the fire down. If that's your one and only fire, and you are seriously concerned that it's going to ruin the food, then under those extreme situations, then there are those that say it's permissible.
What if your concern is that it's going to make the house unbearably hot?
I'm not sure if they open the windows. Okay. Right. So Taf Tzadi Dalit. Let's take a look here. Mark, you'd like to be? I'll tell you what we actually do here. Let's read the Mechaber. We'll read the Mechaber. Mark, would you like to begin? B'yom Chamishim, the Svir Soimer.
ביום חמישים, בספירס האוימר, הוא חג.
השבוע.
חג השבוע. בסדר, התפילה, כמוי היום של יום זה.
Okay, so the 50th day of the Sphere Omer, that's Chag HaShavuos, and the format of the prayers are the same of that as of the Yom Tov of Pesach.
יום טוב, כמו ביום טוב של פסח. אלו שאומרים את יום חג השבוע הזה, זמן מקרא סיידר. גוימרים, ההלל.
We complete the Hallel. It's a full Hallel, right? Sometimes, like on Rosh HaKodesh the other day, we had a half Hallel, but on Yom Tov we say a full Hallel.
Let's see in Shnei Seforim.
That means you take out two Sifrei Torah, right? Two Sifrei Torah taken out.
The Korim, the Rishon, Hamisha, the HaKodesh, Shlishi, Ad Soif, Asayda. Nafshi Korai, Shani, Obiyoin, Abakurim. Nafshi, Markofa, Cheskel, Sassen, Pasuk, Betisayini, Ruach.
So the maftir is from the Hezkel, from that pasuk. Okay. Let's continue on with the Mechaber. Oh, okay, sorry.
Sorry.
Good.
Maybe you understood it.
Okay, where should I begin?
Well, I got the first sentence.
Okay.
I think I got the second sentence. Everybody else did, but how about from Ayla?
Ella she'omrim es yom, instead of saying the prayers as you do on Pesach, you rather say omrim yo es yom HaKodesh Shavuos hazeh zman matan Torah sefer.
Which one has for?
That's in Spanish. And Birkus Amazon also when they learn. That'll be according to what you say during the Birkus Amazon too. Goyim Misahal, you complete the Halal, it's a full Halal. Yotzi in Shnei Sifroi, you take out 2 Sifrei Torah. V'Korah, you read the Rishon in the first Sefer. You read Hamisha, 5 Aliyahs, right? 5 Aliyahs.
5 Aliyahs.
Right. And you read from the HaKodesh HaShlishi ad Soif HaSeder. And that passage of the HaKodesh HaShlishi was in reference to Sivan, right? Right, the first month is missing, the second month is Kippur, and we just now entered the 3rd month, which is Sivan. Ad Soif HaSeder, until the end of the that portion. The Maftir Korshne Risheni, right? V'yom HaBikur. And the Maftir is the second Sefer Torah from that portion which is called Yom Bikurim. That relates to us the halachas of the Korbanos of Shavuos. Maftir b'Markava, the Haskell and the Haftorah is having to do with the Markava that's written there in the Sefer Haskell and the Sayim, the pasuk that we finished reading. Right, it says those words with the Mishna Berura. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
And when did it
Yes. To say Lisa.
I didn't hear the question. What?
No, I was just explaining what the words mean.
when did it
Right, the Ruach, the Spirit, the Ruach lifted me, was referring to his prophecy, how he was experiencing his prophecy. Yeah. Okay, let's continue on with Sif Beis.
ביום השני קוראים בפרשת כל הדוחות עד סוף סדרה. ונפטיר חיירי כמוי אסמויר, ונפטיר בחרקות מן ההיכל חדשה. עד יום הסייע וגימס סוי.
Okay, this is about Yontav Sheni, Yom Sheni, that's in Chutz La'aretz. We read the Parshas Kol before, right, until it's Sofa Seder, until the end of that Parsha. Maftikor, Kamo, Etmon, you read the same Haftorah as the first day. The Maftir is B'Chakuk, meaning the pasuk from Vashem, Behekol, Kasha. Hashem is holy sanctuary. Until Yidem Letzeh, Libin Nosa. Okay.
So you're saying, you also say Yechezkel, the second day?
No,
Okay.
that's the Chakuk.
Right. Because when it says Korei Kamo Etmol, that just means that we say after on the second day as well as first.
It's Sif Gimel.
Wait, is the Haftorah or the Maftir? You say it's
No, the Haftorah is different, right? The Maftir is the same. Gimel. Also, the sun is Motzi Chag Shavuos. Now it's jumping to Motzi Chag Shavuos, so you can't fast on Motzi Shavuos. And now the Ramah adds some things which are relevant to our different customs of eating different things on Shavuos.
So you can't fast on the day after Shavuos.
Right,
Motzi?
that's correct.
The day after.
Correct. We'll see the Mishna Berura, but let's read the Mishnah, the Ramah. Continue on in the Mechaber there. First, we'll finish up with
So the chutz min lechem.
no, it says the Ein Omrim Tachenu.
Sorry.
Up, still at the beginning.
Just carry on.
Yeah, carry on.
Also or an also.
That's right.
Also the Isanus במצרים חג השבועס. That's okay.
Yeah, the Haggadah.
The Einoim Rin, Tachtanim, with Chilas Rosh HaKodesh, Sinan Ad, Chaim, Goy, Eino, Achad, Isfachad.
So, Ein Omer Tachanun, Metchilas Rosh Chodesh, Siman, Ad, Ches, Boy. That's what we're experiencing right now. We're not saying Tachanun. Yesterday was Rosh Chodesh, right? Until the 8th day of Sivan, right? Which means after the Chag. Okay?
Day right after, or did you skip it?
No,
Day right after.
right after. We'll see. We can actually continue on. The Noigim, go ahead now, continue on with the law.
The Noigim Ishtoya, Asimin, Shavuos, the Reis, Knesset, Batim, Zeicher, Simchas, Mountain Torah.
So the Noigim, we're accustomed to spread out, the Shuteach, whereas accustomed to spread out soving grasses, the Shavuos, during or before the Chag of Shavuos, but they Knesset in the shuls and in the batim, in the houses. Zeichel is Simchas Matan Torah. That's a recollection, commemoration of the joy of the giving of the Torah.
The Chamo Koimois, the Echol, Cholov, and by Russian Shavuos, immediately Tam Shahu, Kamon, Shiny, Savshili, Slukhim, Kanayel, Pesach. Zeicher la Pesach, the Zeicher la Chagiga.
So it says, the first day of Shavuos, right? The custom is in many places that they eat dairy foods on the first day of Shavuos. V'nira li hatam. The Ramah says apparently the reason is as follows, because it should be Moshnei Tavshilin Shalokim Bilel Pesach Zecher LePesach Vezekel Pesach. That it is based on the fact that just like on the night of Pesach, we have two foods that we choose, one to be a commemoration of the Korban Pesach and another one to be a Zecher, a commemoration of the Chagiga. Right?
Quick question about the Chagiga and the Pesach are both Basar. So
Yeah,
like, why would it be called?
Just like one of them is an egg and one of them is meat. So it's only a Zecher.
Right.
The egg is also, the egg is has nothing. You never bring an egg on them as bad. It's just a commemoration.
Mm.
Yeah.
We said though that the egg is round, and that symbolizes something.
Yeah, there are reasons for that. That is a separate reason why we choose an egg, right? But the fact that it has to be basar is simply the fact that we choose an egg. It's not dependent on being basar. As a matter of fact, it's in a certain way better that you don't choose basar, because by using basar for the Zeichel Pesach, there's problems. We can't point to it and say Zeh Pesach. It's a shadow of Kachim B'chutz and things like this. So it's even a certain emphasis not to actually choose basar. For the fact that we do choose basar for one of them, yeah, very good. But the symbolic correspondence does seem to exist, even though it's a remote symbolic correspondence, but it does seem to exist.
Okay, Neiflin, Achel, Cholov, Achel Koch, Achel Basar. צריכים, להביא עמהם שתי לחם על השולחן שהוא במקום המזבח.
So there's a train of thought here. It's starting off with the reason. The minhag is that we have milkiks on Shavuos. So the Ramah is saying, what's the reason why we have milkiks on Shavuos? That similar to as we have two foods on the night of Pesach, and one of those foods is a commemoration for the Pesach, and another is a commemoration for the Korban Kadiga. Likewise, we eat milkik food on Shavuos, right? And afterwards, we eat meat food after having the milkik food. And because of that fact, that you have to have milk and then, first you have milk and then you have meat. You have to bring along with them two breads. You have to put two separate breads on the shulchan, and the shulchan is the makam hamizbeah, right? So, since you want to have one bread that you're eating with your milkiks, right, and you can't eat from that bread when you have your fleishiks, so you're forced to bring two breads, right, on your table.
You could eat from that bread as long as you're careful not to touch it.
Generally, if it's on the same table, if you have a family situation or a guest situation where people are eating, you can't keep track of it.
But you have a breadboard. Here's how we do it. We have a breadboard, and we have a bread plate.
Okay.
And we cut the bread, we put it on the bread plate, we pass the bread plate around. The rest of the bread is on the breadboard. It's never been touched by anybody except me.
Well, sometimes what if your grandson throws his tennis ball in the chicken soup? It's wrong.
And it splashes on the bread.
You can't be careful. So the rule is that if you're eating milkiks, you should have another bread with the fleishiks.
Okay.
Yeah. And look, if you want to put it in a bag and such like that, then but in general the law is that you should have another separate bread for milkiks and a separate bread for the fleishiks. Like I say, you can take the portions.
And then you got to keep track of that to the leftovers.
Sure. You don't want to make French toast with the bread that was by the roast beef.
Right.
Unless you make part of the French toast. Sure.
Right. It's okay.
Yeah.
Do Hasidim do this also? Because I know that Hasidim wait time before going from dairy to meat. It's not just from meat to dairy. They wait going all the way.
Well, I mean, what the Mishna Berura discusses, you can't go there, even though it's not the same stringency as having meat first and then having to wait 6 hours for the milk, right? But if you have milk and then you have meat afterwards, there's certain procedures. You have to make sure your hands are clean. You have to make sure your mouth is free from any leftover food that might be melted. You have to have specific procedures of making yourself fit to eat the meat after the milk.
Doing those things could take 5 minutes. I thought there are some groups who wait like up an hour or more or time.
Possibly, I'm not familiar, but it could possibly, yeah.
So you booked because you could come to my son and you will see it.
How much time does your son wait?
I can't remember.
How much do you wait between dairy?
I do what he does. I follow him now. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You live in Yerushalyim?
Yes.
You're in the Hall of Meshach?
Fun? Yes.
You happy there?
Very, very happy.
Yeah. So therefore, the necessity of having milkiks for the minhag, let's put it this way, the custom to have the milkik food followed by fleishik food, meaty food, that necessitates the fact that you should have two breads. And the reason you want two breads is because just like on Pesach, you had two tavshilim, right? Zekel Pesach and Zekel Chagiga. You want to have two breads, right? Which is Zikaron L'Shtei HaLechem She'Makrim B'Yom HaYibikorim. That's a Zekel to the Shtei Lechem, which is Makrivim the Yom Shvuyos. So, okay. We'll go to the Mishna Berura on this tomorrow, Mitzvah.